We live in the most informed time in history. Yet people have never believed so many wrong things about money. Before we go further, if you want to understand money in a way that gives you an unfair advantage, subscribe right now, because this lesson might completely change how you see financial advice forever. Now here's the strange truth. The more information we have, the more stories control us. Think about this. If I tell you, over 80% of active fund managers underperform the market long term. It sounds technical, distant, boring. But if I say, my uncle invested his life savings with a market genius and lost everything, suddenly it feels real. One is statistics, the other is a story. And your brain will remember the story, not the data. You don't make financial decisions based on spreadsheets. You make them based on narratives that feel believable. Here's what this chapter is really about. When the world is too complex to understand, we create simple stories to survive it. Money is complicated. Markets are confusing. The future is uncertain. So our brains do something clever. They replace complexity with a clean, emotional explanation. And once a story feels right, we believe it even if it's wrong, because stories reduce uncertainty. And uncertainty is uncomfortable. Look at financial bubbles. Before every crash, there was a beautiful story. Real estate never goes down. This new technology changes everything. This time is different. These stories weren't supported by perfect data. They were supported by emotional momentum. During the late 1990s tech boom, people didn't fully understand internet companies. But the story was powerful. The internet will change the world. That story was true. But the belief that every internet stock would make you rich, that was fiction. The story was stronger than the statistics, and people believed anything that supported the narrative. Here's why stories dominate numbers. Stories are easy to remember. Stories feel personal. Stories remove doubt. Stories give us someone to blame or someone to praise. Statistics require patience. Stories require emotion. And humans are emotional before they are logical. Even the smartest investors aren't immune, because believing a compelling story feels safer than admitting, I don't fully understand what's happening. Here's the dangerous part. Once you believe a story, you start filtering reality. You ignore facts that contradict it. You search for proof that supports it. You surround yourself with people who agree. Suddenly, you're not investing based on analysis. You're investing based on identity. And when identity mixes with money, losses become devastating. Because you're not just losing money, you're losing a belief. So what do? You don't eliminate stories. You question them. Instead of asking, is this story exciting? Ask, what would have to be true for this to fail? Instead of, everyone says this is the future. Ask, what does history say about certainty? Instead of chasing convincing narratives, build systems that survive uncertainty. Diversify. Stay patient. Avoid extremes. Respect probability. Because statistics may be boring, but boring usually wins. Here's the quiet truth most people don't realize. You will believe something that isn't true at some point. We all will. The goal isn't to become perfect. The goal is to design your financial life so that when you're wrong, you survive. Because survival beats brilliance every single time. In money, the most dangerous words are not, this is risky. They are, this story makes sense.